Happy Monday, friends. I am here to talk a little bit about one of my most favorite subjects, which is team cohesion, and specifically through the lens of the current state of teams. I think we can all agree that teams are getting more complex, more fluid, and certainly more dispersed than they ever were before. In late February, early March, Wiley Learning put out a survey to about 20,000 people looking to answer the question of, do we have the skills needed to be effective working with each other? One interesting thing that came up in that survey is that 99% of respondents said that they are effective team members. I kind of hope you're giggling along with me on that one, because while I am an optimist, I feel like that may be a bit over the top on the optimism. What's interesting is that through years of research based on the 5 behaviors team development historical data, we found that 4 in 5 people are not willing to acknowledge their mistakes or weaknesses to their team. And that is a clear and significant indication of a lack of trust on teams. So what does that look like, and how does it relate to this new data? Well, back to our Wiley Learning survey from late February, early March, we found again that 61% of respondents reported a lack of trust. That's still a significant number. But more importantly to that is that 80% of respondents said that they don't hold each other accountable on their teams. Now, these two together cause a significant productivity nosedive. So how do they relate together? Well, in working with teams and bringing them through the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team, we start with the base layer, which is how to build trust. And oftentimes, especially with project teams or short-term teams, how to build that trust quickly. We need to be able to trust one another, to be able to engage in the next level, which is productive conflict. Now, when I say productive conflict, I don't mean arguing, but I also don't mean acquiescing. What we're looking for is something in the middle where every voice, idea, thought gets heard. We get to put everything out on the table and move forward with what's best. Not necessarily a consensus of all ideas, but a commitment to the best idea. What that productive conflict does is lets everybody weigh in to be able to buy in and gain that true commitment. Now, those 2 steps there are really important to then bring us to the next one of holding each other accountable to those commitments. So once we've built that trust, learn how to have productive conflict conversations with one another. We've all agreed on one true commitment, right? Where are we headed? We're all going there together. Now, as a team, we can hold each other accountable. Now, don't get me wrong, leaders still need to hold their team members accountable. But for high-functioning, truly cohesive teams, the team members also hold each other accountable. Because ultimately, we're all going in the same direction for the collective results of the team. So we look at trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results, and how those flow together to create a competitive advantage over other teams, quite honestly. Now, how this looks when it's not working well is people come together, they don't say what they want to say, there's some political maneuvering. When it comes to commitment, we've got head nods, maybe people aren't very clear on where it's going, everybody leaves the room and goes back into their silos or departments and does whatever they want. And that collective result never gets taken care of. Now, this isn't anyone's fault. This is a skill set that's needed. And just because you know what should be done does not mean you know how to get it done. So we're really looking at a skill gap here rather than a blame or a problem. It's just that people may not know how to do this. Naturally, as you're coming up, you're worried about your career, right? You're worried about individual results. Sometimes companies even base salaries or bonuses on an individual's results rather than the collective team. So what to do about that as we're moving forward? So the state of teams post-COVID, or during COVID, I suppose, 22% of people state that they're not confident that their teams can maintain the same performance levels virtually. While that's not a huge number, it's a big enough number to say some of us just aren't sure we're going to be able to keep going this way, never mind with that skill gap. And an even slightly bigger number, 29% of people said that they're not confident that they're personally connected as they work remotely. So it becomes even more important now that if you're looking to bridge that skill gap, to get people to trust, to be able to produce innovation through conflict and growth through conflict, to come together for a singular commitment, to hold each other accountable to that commitment, and then drive incredible results, you've got to teach them how. Everyone knows they should, but you need to give them the skills how. So I'd love to hear what you're doing for your teams on continuing to build that trust, continuing to stay connected, and to continue to bridge this skill gap. Give me a little note in the comments about how you're doing it. And if you're interested in reading the full report from that survey, let me know, and I'm happy to send it to you. Either DM or drop a comment below again. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy Monday, and have a great week.